Hi everyone. In this video today, I'd like to speak to you about doubt that you may have in sports science throughout your career. It's really normal. All of you are going to go through these feelings of doubt, questioning your ability, questioning your future. And I'll give you 5 quick examples throughout my career that I've experienced as myself. So firstly, when I was 17, before I went to university, I did a 2-year course in Coventry, a sports course, a BTEC course, and had to go for an interview before this course started. And I went in there at 17 with Logan Paul hair. I was about 70 kg. I didn't look like a sports student. And that's exactly what the teacher said to me as well. His words were, I'm taking a gamble bringing you onto this course. And really, it was my looks that made him think that. So I doubted myself. Even the first hurdle after school, going into sport, am I actually good enough to do the college course? Never mind university. Am I good enough for this 2-year course before going to uni? I thought about that, and luckily that guy was a great mentor for 2 years. But at the start, I wasn't too keen on him, and I thought to myself, I'm going to prove you wrong. You judged me for the wrong reasons, and I worked incredibly hard. And part of that motivation did come from that initial doubt that was given to me from that teacher. Secondly, I got rejected by 4 out of the 5 universities I applied for. So I went for my UCAS application to go to university in 2010 and going in running order. Loughborough rejected me, Sheffield Hallam rejected me, Birmingham rejected me, and Lincoln. Now, I'm not knocking Lincoln as a university at all, as a place, but it was low down in the rankings. So for me at that time, I thought to myself, no disrespect to Lincoln, if I can't get into a place that's at that level of the rankings, how am I going to go to university? In the end, the last place to get in touch with me was Hull, and I got in there. I went there for my undergraduate degree, and it worked out okay in the end. But I did think to myself, am I good enough to go to university? Only 1 out of 5 have given me the opportunity, despite my grades. I did quite well in that 2-year course, but because it was a BTEC and it wasn't A levels, some unis looked at that and didn't look at it the same way as A levels. So I had that doubt, but it really wound me up that 4 out of 5, despite my grades, turned me down. So I said to myself, when I started to put Hull, I'm going to work twice as hard now. I'm going to show Loughborough, I'm going to show Birmingham that I'm good enough to be there, even though you doubted me. Thirdly, I was on a 2-2 in my second year. So the first semester and second year, got my grades, averaged about 57%. It's not a disaster, but the standards that I had, I was pretty fed up with that. I'd worked really hard, I put a lot of effort into it, and I ruminated about it for a long time. And asked myself, am I good enough to graduate? Am I going to slip? Third year is going to be even harder. And this is where I'm at in second year. I really doubted myself at this stage, and I was very close to quitting the course. Looking back, it's probably a bit melodramatic, but for the standards I had and where I wanted to go with my life, that wasn't good enough for me. And my mindset though after time was, well, I need to go and speak to my lecturers. I need to get a reality check. I'm working hard, but I'm not working smart. Where am I going wrong? What do I need to do to get my grades where they need to be for my future? Number 4, I went into retail after graduating. So I worked in professional sport, as I've mentioned in previous videos. I had a year or so working in professional sport, but then I went to uni. I went back to do a master's in Nottingham Trent, and I had to get money, so I went and worked at Gap. So I'd gone from being on the field with professional athletes at a high standard to working in retail. I'm not telling my nose up at retail, but for me, that was a drop in where I wanted my life to go. And despite doing a master's, I still asked myself, am I going to get back into it? My mindset was, well, anyone can go and do a master's if they've got the money and the grade, but am I really going to get back to where I wanted to be? Have I taken a backward step here? But it still inspired me, it still motivated me. And I said to myself, I need to put everything into getting a PhD scholarship. I don't want my life to be at this level forever. I need to push on. So, despite these doubts, these negative feelings that I had, and a lot of nights where I was in bed really thinking about this, couldn't get to sleep, it spurred me on. I had to put everything into getting that PhD. And then lastly, I say lastly, there's a million things I could talk about where I doubted myself. I want to keep this video concise to 5. But the last one is getting rejected for lecturing roles. So, despite having a job now for the last 2 years since 2019, lecturing in Ireland, I got a lot of rejections before that. I had a good few interviews, applications which didn't go to interview. And that was tough because my money was running out. I had a scholarship for my PhD and the money was about to run out. Didn't have a job to go into. So I did ask myself, am I ever going to get a full-time lecturing job? Am I good enough to do this? It's so competitive. Is this ever going to happen for me? So those doubts crept in a lot. And in my career, it's probably one of the lowest times I've had. But it's easier said than done. And it's easier in hindsight to say this, but I had to keep going. I kept telling myself, you have to keep going. Even if you've been rejected 20 times, it's hard. And I could never smile at that stage of my life. I can smile now, but I had to keep going. I had to keep going. It was 20, 30 applications, unsuccessful. Kept going, kept going. In the end, it worked out for me. So to summarize, what I'd say to you is it's not a smooth journey. You may be at a stage in your life that's going well, but it can quickly change. Everyone has these setbacks and everyone has these doubts, whether it's your first year of the course, whether you're doing a master's, PhD, or your career. I'm still going to have doubts over the next few years as well. But never give up. You might be rejected 10, 15, 20 times plus. You have to keep going. So I've kept that short. There's plenty of things I could talk about. Might make another video of other doubts I've had. But if you have your own doubts, if there's anything that's affecting your confidence right now, your own self-belief, get in touch. The platforms are down there to see. Get in touch with me. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.